Hi, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us here for this pre-match press conference ahead of India versus Namibia tomorrow in Dubai. We're kindly joined by Bharat Arun of Team India, who will be taking questions today.
Hi, Bharat. How are you doing? One life cycle as a coach is now going to complete as far as your career is concerned. So tell us about your experiences, your learnings, your high points, your low points as an Indian team bowling coach.
I think it's been a great journey for me. Especially it's been an outstanding journey. There has been ups and downs, but I think the team is in a much better position than what it was when we started, and I'm pretty happy about it. The highest point of the career would be the kind of the bowling that we have. We set about winning a lot of test matches overseas. That is what we strived hard to achieve, and as a team, and we went about achieving that. I think the highest points could be the two back-to-back wins in Australia, and also us more or less winning the series in England. Of course, there's one more test to go, but I think the performance of the team during this English series was outstanding.
Bahadur Jo Bose and then Kushan Sarkar.
Bharat sir, firstly, congratulations on a brilliant journey. The best part about the time you had with the team was that the bowling was considered one of the strengths of this team. Before we had the batting, which was the strength, but now the bowling. But coming to this World Cup, do you think in the first two games, was it a case of the bowlers not rising to the challenge, or would you still say that the batsmen should have done a little better? Because at the end of the day, that could be the reason why India may not qualify for the semi-finals.
See, I'm not trying to give any excuses, but I think this World Cup, the trend has been the team that wins the toss has a big advantage, especially when you're playing in the Dubai Stadium. And so the wicket kind of eases out as when you come on to bowl the second time. It's no excuses. We should have done better. We should have batted better. And also the first match, we had a chance to defend our total, but we looked a little below par.
Bharat sir, Kushan here. Hi. Congratulations on a fantastic journey with the Indian team. But I would like to know, it took you at least good 4 or 5 years to create a world-class bowling unit. Ishant, Shami, Jasprit, Umesh. Some of them are now reaching the business end. As you leave, they're also reaching the business end, probably apart from Jasprit, within the mid-20s. They are reaching the business end, and probably they will have to be, there should be a transition phase starting. How do you see the next crop of Indian fast bowler, and what kind of time it would take? It took you a lot of time to create this World Cup class attack. What kind of time do you think the new setup might take to create an attack as lethal as this when the transformation happens?
Actually, it took us a little while. It is a combination of the strength and conditioning, the physiotherapy, and the bowling department all coming together in order to create this kind of a bowling unit. India always can boast of really good fast bowlers, but then with the workload management in place, that ensured that the fast bowlers remain extremely fresh at any given point of time, so we could even rotate. And going forward, I think India's talent is also exciting with the likes of Mohammad Siraj coming in and Prasidh Krishna. And there are a lot of exciting fast bowling talent in the country. With the workload management in place, which I'm sure is going to go forward, I think we would be a force to reckon with in the near future too.
Amol Karadkar and then Aranya Vasu.
Mr. Arun, can you just tell us the biggest challenge over the last 5 years in order to create the pool of bowlers and also balance it out with not compromising on India's best 11 as such?
See, to begin with, I think Ravi and Virat got together and they wanted to put up a team that could win in all conditions. And in order to do so, it was important that we had a very balanced. Everybody knows that we had a very, very one of the best spin attack in the world. Also, it was about creating another force that would complement our bowling that could suit in all conditions. And so all of us came together and said, we have enough fast bowlers, but we need to create a lot more discipline in their attack, and also to make sure that they remain fresh throughout. That is the only chance of us winning. And also they took a bold step, the team management and the captain took a very bold step of always facing, playing 5 bowlers at any given point of time. I think that was the most positive move that happened, and that helped us to win 3 major series abroad. 2 were back-to-back in Australia, and also 1 we came very close to winning the series. It hangs in balance for the just 1 test match that remains. So I think it's a combined effort of everybody put together that has really created this force, and I think this legacy will carry on.
Arun sir, Arani this side. You talked about workload management being critical to form this pool of fast bowlers. Going ahead with so much of T20 cricket, one-day cricket and test cricket, do you see the need to have different sets of bowlers for different formats? Because there's a lot of work that goes into Jasprit or a Mohammad Shami right now. To maintain that, do you think that India could look at things that way, that we need 3 sets of or 2 sets of bowlers for different formats?
Absolutely. Not only the volume of cricket that our country is playing, it also remaining in the bubble and playing it's not, I can guarantee that it's not very easy to be in the bubble and keep playing throughout the year. They do need sufficient breaks, because I think even the mental health is going to be very, very important going forward. And this is going to be the norm for us, at least for the next 1 year or 2 years. So it is important that we have, in our country, we have a very, very good pool of fast bowlers. There is enough talent in our country, so we can afford to field different teams for different formats. That way, it's not only also we understanding the different talent that is available, also it keeps our bowlers mentally and physically very, very fresh.
Gopal Krishnan Vishwanath.
Yeah, Bharat, not long ago, a few days ago, actually, Virat said that the last 4 years were not necessarily winning trophies and titles, but about, changing the culture of the team, playing fearless cricket, as you said, playing 5 bowlers. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I think that is being fearless, because earlier we went in with only mostly 4 bowlers and somebody who can also bowl. But right now we are going in with 5 regular bowlers in any given team that we have. So I think that is a first fearless step, because we said that the batting group needs to step up. We need to take added responsibility if we need to win matches abroad, and we need to take 20 wickets all the time. So that went into us playing this combination of at least 5 bowlers in every match. And to us now, with the wicketkeeper being a very good batsman, also helps the cause.
Shivang Mishra from Zee News.
Hello, hi Bharat. My question to you is, are we missing Yuzvendra Chahal in this World Cup campaign, as he's a world-class bowler? Are we missing him?
See, I think that is for the selectors to decide. We can only play with the team that has been given to us, and I wouldn't like to dwell too much on that.
Do you have any more? Yes. Raju Vishwanath.
Yeah, hi. Thanks, Molin. Hi, Bharat. You just were talking about all the achievements which the Indian team have had this year, especially the wins in Australia, reaching the final of the World Test Championship and obviously the series in England. Given all that, how would you describe the mood now that, on a T20 World Cup, we are on the verge of probably being eliminated or at the mercy of another team's result? How would you describe the mood in the camp?
Obviously, we are a very good side. We were the tournament favorites when we did start, but it was most unfortunate that we lost the first two games, and that put us in a very precarious situation that we are in today. Obviously, we are expecting to qualify. We are backing Afghanistan to do well in this tournament. But again, in sport is all about ups and downs, and you need to accept and move on. If you need to give out your best at any given point of time, it was the entire team's endeavor to do well in this series, but that was not so. I'm not trying to give any excuses, but I think the toss plays a very, very, very vital role in a match like this, which I think the toss shouldn't be of any consequence. But here, the toss gives a very undue advantage, and that's the reason why there's a huge change between batting in the first innings and batting in the second innings, and that shouldn't be the case in a very short format like this.
Final question now, Devashish Sen.
Bharat sir, would you say that the IPL was the perfect practice going into the T20 World Cup? You talked about workload management. The fast bowlers have been playing for their different franchises, and then would you? I'm not saying that you blame, but can it be held as a factor?
You mean the IPL?
Yeah, just after the IPL, the workload. You talked about workload management just after the IPL. The T20 World Cup happened. So do you see that the fast bowlers, especially talking to fast bowlers?
See, again, it's definitely being on the road for 6 months is a huge ask. I think the players haven't gone home ever since they had a short break after the last IPL, and they are in a bubble for the last 6 months. And I think that takes a huge toll. So very specific to your question, maybe a short break between the IPL and the World Cup would have done a lot of good for these boys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.